This is John Graden. I am here to try and help you with your online teaching in the remote classroom world we live in, hopefully temporarily. Before we get into the mechanics of how to really make your best presentation on camera or online, or online on camera online, let me put this into perspective for you. Every school in your area is facing the same challenge right now. That is an empty school and the potential of a dwindling enrollment and tuition base because students aren't coming to class. They're not going to want to pay. Many of them are being laid off. We all know the story. Here's the deal. Let's say there are 10 schools in your 5-mile radius. Who's going to come out on top? Because at the end of this, some schools will hold on to their students. Some schools will lose some students. Some schools will go out of business. So your ability to consistently present effective, motivating, and engaging classes online is going to make a huge difference. You don't have to be the best in the world. You have to be the best in your area. Because I can guarantee you that if you're in the top 3 or 4 schools doing this, that you're going to come back not only with the majority of your regular students, but you'll probably get some spillover from schools that didn't make it. Not 100% because they're not good on camera. There's always additional factors involved because this is such a personality-driven business. This is a chance for you to shine. That's a real key point. Shine. Not to make excuses. Let's get started. Number 1. Before I taught classes every night back when I owned my schools, when I arrived at the school, I would get out of the car and take some deep breaths, loosen my shoulders up, loosen up my face so it makes it easy to smile, and just really prepare myself to step on the stage. Consider teaching to be like a stage performance. It's a presentation. It's a performance. There are high points, there are low points, there are quiet points that you're trying to make a difference, and they're very loud, exciting points. So you have to be in control of that energy and those emotions in order to get the most out of your students. What I saw in the last couple of days, some guys are really high energy. Even as sloppy as their skills might be, they have a good energy. On the other hand, 2 guys that I watched, one was a human data dump. He talked all about the angles of the fist and the elbow being here, and it's got to be this way. He never smiled once. He was in his living room. We'll go more into that kind of stuff in a bit, but it was a technical presentation. Then I saw another instructor who was going to review the jab. 11 minutes later, he'd thrown 4 jabs. The rest was yak, yak, yak. So here's the rule. Less yak, more smack. So when you get ready to walk on that floor, your shoulders are relaxed, you've got your face all loosened up, you're ready to go out, you're ready to smile, you're excited. You've put yourself in a mental state of gratitude that these people are interested. So you've got it's called be in your body. Next, dress appropriately. Just because you may be at home doesn't mean it's a good idea to put on sweats or jeans and a tank top with your armpits hanging out. If you teach classes in a uniform, present your classes in a uniform. Be aware of your background. This is important. Some of you are doing this in your living room, and that's fine if that's the situation you're in. But please take the time to look at what the student's going to be seeing behind you. And that's important. If anything, try and declutter the background. And in some cases, you can get a backdrop like this. This is just a simple backdrop, $20 off of Amazon. Or you can go to a fabric store and get felt backgrounds. It's just felt, colored felt, for about $20 for a 10 by 20 or 10 by 15 that you could use clamps that you get at Home Depot and just hang up behind you. That way you've got a clear background and it looks more professional. If you're in your school, be aware of what's behind you as well, which leads to lighting. For instance, you want the light to come to you from the camera direction. You don't want the light behind you from this direction And that would make your face go dark. That's called being rear lit. You want to be lit from the front. Use a microphone if you can. Ideally, a wireless lavalier. If you're shooting off of a phone, you can get iPhone or Android phones, lab mics. But more importantly than the video in many cases is the audio quality. And that's typically where guys are really messing up right now. Know your goal in the class. Is it a physical class? Is it a technique class? What are we trying to accomplish here? I know schools here locally, in fact, that are doing 5 to 3 classes a night. I should actually say 3 to 5. But most nights they do 5 classes online, and then they do 3 in the other classes. Little Dragons, middle-aged, black belt club classes. So there's a wide variety of classes there. Each one has a different energy. It's a different age group. So you've got to get your mindset on, before I start this, what is the goal? Keep class moving. I told you about the guy that talked 11 minutes before he did 4 whole jabs. That was basically a lecture. This is not a lecture business. You're in the action business. So again, less yak, more smack. Be animated. Tell your body about it. Speak with your entire body. Get excited about it. Lots of smile, crack jokes. Have fun while you're engaged in this unusual medium. And you're going to have to take control and exude confidence that you're in command of the medium. What I'm seeing too many people do is, let me turn this and switch. And, I'm sorry, Mrs. Jones, can you unmute? No, you face that camera and you go to action and be in your body. Be the leader in front of your students. Also, start and end on time. I am seeing people get to their computer and turning the class on right as the class is supposed to begin. That's not professional. So get there 20 minutes early. Check your mics, check your lighting, do a sound test, do a video test, and make sure you're ready to go ding, ding, ding at the bell. One of the challenges that I've seen is that those of you that it's still, and I don't understand why, do traditional katas, they take the entire room up. So you see the kids, they don't have the room to do chunji or batsai or whatever it is. And you know what? This is an insight. Just because your camera's there doesn't change anything. Even when it's not there, they still don't have room to practice those forms. So move away. This is a great time to get your students excited about new material. We're going to replace some of the old stuff and really turn a negative into a positive by upgrading our curriculum. And I saw one of the schools, their first combination was jab, elbow, switch knee. Then they turned the opposite direction, jab, elbow, switch knee. It took about that much room, just a double arm's length to go forward and back, left and right. And of course, that was an Empower kickboxing school. So we've got a practical, good combination. It's the same as a kata. It's bilateral coordination. You're doing it on both sides. You go in 4 directions at the end. So give your students something they can reasonably practice with you in the space that they have. Again, I talked about exuding confidence. That is so important at this stage of the game. You've got to act as though this is just another day at the office. I am a black belt. I am your leader. Don't you worry. I have this under control. Before we get to asking questions, let me just help you with this. This is more concept. This will work as well as you say it's working and the students experience it working. So if I'm asking students questions and I'm saying, Mrs. Jones, would you please unmute Zach's mic there so he can answer the question, what is integrity? Okay, I can't hear that. That's You do not ask questions of your class directly. Well, they've got to unmute. Instead, send the questions to the parents in advance, have them printed out, and then ask the kids for hand signals or parents for hand signals. For instance, okay, Zach, the question is, what is integrity? Tell the parent, you give them instructions, listen to the child's answer. If it's accurate, thumbs up. So let's do that. I'm the instructor. Zach, what is integrity? Mrs. Jones, please read that question to Zach. Now, they can hear me. I can't hear them. So, Mrs. Jones, pulls out the sheet that she printed out because you prepared her for her. Zach, what is integrity? And she has the answer in front of her. And if he gets it close enough, she can coach him through it. They're teaching their kids all the time. So that brings the parents involved. And once the answer is complete, they both give a thumbs up to the camera. It's a lot more efficient and professional than you say, Mrs. Jones, can you unmute him, please? And then Zach, come up here to the microphone. And then if you have questions in class, prepare the students and their parents for it. Have common questions you can ask the entire class on a regular basis. How many of you all think this is correct? Give me a thumbs up. How many of you think this is correct? Give me a thumbs up. Right. Those of you that did that, you've got it. Double thumbs up. So you've got to be creative in how you can use sign language to talk to these students. Framing of the shot. You're typically going to be full frame, which means your feet should be visible and your head should be visible and have a little bit of space above and below each and to the sides because you're doing full body maneuvering and movements. Too often you get too close and you're talking about footwork and it's beneath you. I do this all the time. It's a mistake that I make a lot. So everything I'm describing to you, I do as a mistake constantly as well. But you want to be in that frame. So think about your framing, the light and the audio every time you're setting up. Here's a huge point. In order for this to work, it has to keep the students engaged. And to them, from their perspective, this is working. In many cases, you've got to fake it till you make it. And here's what I mean. If there's a glitch, for instance, a lot of people are having issues with lag. We don't say to the class, oh, I can't see you. The video is lagging. Why would you say that to the student? They don't know it's lagging. Just keep a teaching pattern up. You're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, weave, elbow, whatever it is. You know the things. Get your hands up, chin down. Joey, make sure your legs are underneath you. Sally, get those hands up high. Sam, be sure to turn your body in that elbow. Even if they're lagged out and frozen, they don't know it. At home, they hear their name. They're getting coaching, and it doesn't matter how specific it is to that particular technique. You do not want to say, oh, this really complicated method of communication is too complicated for us because you're frozen and I can't teach you. That's not a good message. You will see your attendance levels in class go down. Fake it till you make it. Sally, that looks great. Get those hands up. You don't want to say, Sally, that looks great if she's lagged out and you can't tell what she's doing, but you make general comments and you bring the kids into it. That's a really important point. Do not point out the glitches. In your mind, everything is going great. And as long as you're conveying, faking it, that everything is going great, they're going to think everything's going great. Wow, this is fun. If you have some things happen in the school or at home, for instance, at home, the dog starts barking or something falls or there's a loud noise, just play it off. Doesn't matter what it is. Just make a joke out of it and laugh and say, oh, I'm getting attacked from behind. Oh, dogs. Our dog defense is next. Silly stuff like that. You could kind of anticipate it in advance. Some of the unexpected noises you could predict. Dog, door ringing, phone ringing, whatever. But just have some little quips and quotes that make light of it and move on. They will have as much fun as you convey you're having. If you look like you're overwhelmed by technology and everything's glitching and you're always going off camera to reach and make an adjustment, that's not going to last. You're going to get 15 kids the first time, 12 the second, 8 the next. But just imagine that guy down the street is not pointing out errors. He is not pointing out glitches. He's framed right. The camera looks good. Everything's going well. You're going to fall behind on that curve right now. So you want to make the goal to be the best you can be on camera. Finally, I'm going to say that when you prepare to go on stage, I alluded to this before, but I can't emphasize it enough. Make sure that the camera is eye level. I'm sitting on 3 pillows, by the way, right now to get up to eye level because I've got a big iMac. So you want it to be eye level And you want to go out there stepping on the stage. And that's really important. I keep emphasizing that because it is a performance stage. So get out there, knock it out of the park, and break a leg. Good luck. Let me know if I can help you. I'm John Graden at the Martial Arts Teachers Association. MartialArtsTeachers.com. Thanks. See, I looked over here already. Not good.